Hey guys, welcome back to the 13th episode of Jock of all trades. We're back in person, I think, recording in person for the first time in like 2 years. We've also got video going, so that's good. Also got this mic, so hopefully the audio quality is better. But today, our episode is going to be focused on the NFL. Wildcard weekend is coming up. It's Thursday when we're recording this, and the games start on Saturday. So we're just going to be going through each of the matchups one by one and dissecting them.
Alright, so let's talk about the Patriots. They're back in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
1 year. I think 1 year was a bit too much. It was very sad last year, but now they're back. They are 10-7. They're playing the Buffalo Bills, who are a division rival. But we kind of suck. Like, low-key, like, we were good before. We had an elite defense, but now our defense can't stop anything, and Mac Jones is looking like a rookie.
The game's in Buffalo again?
Yeah, the game's in Buffalo.
I remember the last time the two teams played. Was that one in New England?
Yeah, last one was in New England.
The wins were crazy, so Mac Jones only threw the ball like 3 times in the whole game, which is unheard of. But the Patriots still won. They managed to just run the Bills.
No, that one was in Buffalo. The wins were in Buffalo.
Okay. Well, the game was in Buffalo, and the Patriots managed to run the Bills to death. We'll see if they can do that again. I don't think they'll be able to. I'm sure the Bills will have a better game plan this time, but yeah.
As Bay Area fans, obviously, we're very excited that the 49ers are playing in the playoffs this year. So the last time they were in the playoffs, they actually made it to the Super Bowl, and then they lost in 2019.
Bad memories.
So yeah, that hopefully, I mean, honestly, I don't think the 49ers are going to have a very long playoff run. They're playing the Cowboys this weekend on Sunday afternoon. And in the past, I think whoever wins, they've had multiple games in the playoffs together, and whoever wins usually goes to the Super Bowl. But we'll see, since the 49ers aren't at their best this year. But we'll see what happens, and hopefully they'll last for a few games.
Is Dallas still America's team, or is that?
I think just by they're just America's team, but I don't know if they deserve to be. Yeah. I guess talking about the rivalry that Desiree was mentioning, the Niners and Cowboys had a big rivalry in the 90s. They're like the two best NFL teams with like Joe Montana and Troy Aikman. Obviously none of us are old enough to like watch any of that, but it's definitely a historic rivalry, and it's a thing that's getting talked about as we head into Sunday, which is when they play. I think for the Niners, it was just a big deal to get into the postseason. It was a very rocky season. They started 3-5, and they ended off really strong. They had a scare with Tennessee. It was a game they should have won, but then they lost, and that put their playoff odds kind of down. But then obviously they had that amazing game against the Rams last Sunday, which I don't know how they won after being down 0-17, but they did.
Yeah.
So now they're in the playoffs, and I think they actually match up pretty well with the Cowboys. So I'm pretty confident that they'll advance past the wildcard round, but if they do, then they're going to play the Packers. And I'm not so confident about that matchup since Aaron Rodgers is playing, I think, the best he's ever played in his career.
Still not better than Brady. I mean, Tom Brady. What more can I say? He's 44, 60, 44, 60, same thing.
64.
Yeah, 64. He has, over 5,300 yards, yards leader, touchdowns leader, a bunch of leaders, and yet people still think Aaron Rodgers should be MVP. Now, I get that he has less interceptions, but, I mean, can you really be MVP when you're not even, is he top 10 yards? I don't even know. He has like 3,700 yards and less TDs. But, so I think Brady should be the MVP. I'm sure that's probably a hot take, which it shouldn't be, but whatever. He'll take on the Eagles. That is probably a more one-sided matchup, but again, any given week, any given day, any team can win. And we've learned that throughout this season. There's been a ton of upsets, so we'll see what happens.
I think this is a take that you will not like, but it's something I saw, which I kind of agree with. Like, Brady is the GOAT, just like he's won 6 Super Bowls, so you can't dispute that. But like the best, most talented quarterback of all time is Rodgers, not Brady. Just because of like his athletic talent, and like he's definitely able to make some throws that Brady can't make. And obviously the interceptions, what he's doing, like consistently he manages to throw like 40 touchdowns and only have like 5 picks, which is incredible. So there's that.
Yeah. I'd say it's kind of similar to LeBron, Jordan, kind of that comparison. People think Jordan is a GOAT because of his championships, and LeBron has just been a better player. He has a bigger skill set than Jordan. So, yeah.
So next up on the lineup are the Cardinals and the Rams. So both teams kind of have an interesting dynamic with the 49ers. So the 49ers actually were able to advance to the playoffs last week after beating the Rams. And that was pretty surprising, at least to me, because the Rams have a way better record than the 49ers. And it was really kind of exciting to see them come and upset the Rams. And meanwhile, the Cardinals have beaten the 49ers twice this year. So that is pretty interesting. And honestly, I think it's pretty hard to decide which one will win. But we'll see what happens. So do you guys have any thoughts on that lineup?
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals low-key kind of fell off. I mean, they started out 8-0 or something like that.
They're undefeated.
Yeah, they were the last undefeated team. But since then, you haven't really heard their names. Like, even when people talk about, like, top 5 teams, they'll talk about the Packers, the Bucks, the Chiefs, and then go from there. But you never hear the Cardinals in there anymore, and it's just because they just don't seem to have the playmakers. Kyler Murray is good. I don't even know if Hopkins still...
I think he's injured.
He might be injured.
Maybe he's coming back.
So outside of Kyler, you don't really have much offense. Their defense is pretty average. So I think actually the Rams will take it. Cooper Kupp has had a monster season. First in receiving yards, catches, touchdowns, plus Stafford.
He's been up and down.
Yeah, he's been fine, I guess. And then plus their defense, who they picked up Von Miller. They also picked up Eric Weddle. Eric Weddle came out of retirement, who used to be an all-pro safety, I think.
I didn't know that was the thing. I didn't know you could like sign players like week 18.
Yeah.
I assumed there was some like deadline, but I guess not.
Man took ring chasing to a whole new level. But yeah.
Yeah. I guess another matchup we have this weekend is the Raiders and the Bengals. And for the Raiders, just after all they've gone through this season with like the John Gruden incident, Henry Ruggs, for them to just get to the postseason is a big thing, and especially with that game against the Chargers, just like we thought the Niners-Rams game was incredible, but then on Sunday night, a couple hours after that game, the Raiders and Chargers had a even crazier game. I guess one sort of nuance about that game that was kind of interesting was that if the Raiders and the Chargers, if they tied that game, then both of them would get into the playoffs. But if like one team won, then the winner would get into playoffs and the Steelers would get in. So, and actually what makes it even crazier was that game almost tied. Like the score was 32-32 and there were 3 seconds left in the game. And so the kicker came out to kick the field goal. If he missed, both teams would get in, the Steelers would be out. But since he made it, the Chargers got eliminated and the Steelers are in. And there's something interesting that Big Ben said.
Yeah. Speaking of the Steelers, that organization is... I have no idea what's going on. I mean, first of all, you have the whole thing in the regular season, players just like fighting each other in the locker room, doing TikToks and not playing their best. And then them talking about each other in press conference saying, I don't know what's going on in our locker room. And then just now, I think Big Ben gave a press conference where he said, it was something along the lines of, yeah, we're not really a good team. I don't think we deserve to be here. So let's just go out there and have fun. And then his running back, or the Steelers running back, Najee Harris, reposts that on his story saying, like, what is he talking about? So kind of more tension in that organization. Sure. And actually, I think Big Ben was speaking facts. Like, they don't deserve to be there. They're not a good team. They're going to lose to the Chiefs. But you don't say that. So
especially like he's gonna retire after the season. So I don't know if that's the way you want to go out. But
yeah.
I think like going back to the Raiders and Chargers game, like we all know that right now they're the Las Vegas Raiders, but they used to be the Oakland Raiders. So I think some Bay Area fans might still have a piece of their heart with them. So
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I think after seeing that like spectacular win against the Chargers, I think they might actually have a chance in the playoffs. So hopefully we'll see what happens. But that game was really exciting. I think it was one of the most exciting games of the season.
For sure.
Yeah, so I think we hit all the games. There are 2 teams on bye right now. First place in the AFC, Tennessee Titans. First place in the NFC, Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers, who right now is the MVP favorite, unfortunately. And then the Tennessee Titans, who lost Derrick Henry. I believe he is coming back.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and he's the best running back in the NFL. He got outshone by Jonathan Taylor this year, who should be Offensive Player of the Year at least.
Deebo Samuel.
Deebo Samuel, I have no idea what his position is. QB, wide receiver, running back. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
We'll talk about Deebo another day.
Yeah. But I think the Titans actually do have a good shot because they're getting Henry back and they're able to keep playing without him and end up getting the number 1 seed.
Yeah, and then on the other side, the Packers of the bye, we mentioned them. when Muthu was bringing up Rodgers and Brady. But yeah, I think this year, I say like definitively the Packers seem like the best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Their defense has been playing well. Obviously, they have Rodgers, who's on pace to win the MVP award. So yeah, I'd say right now my Super Bowl favorite is the Packers. What about you guys?
Yeah, I think I'd probably agree with that. Like, you can't really deny that Rodgers is playing really well this season, and despite everything that he's been through, on and off the field. But yeah, I'll be supporting the 49ers, but realistically, that's probably not going to happen. So yeah, I'll probably go with the Packers or even the Rams because they've had a pretty good season as well.
One thing I will say is if the Niners beat the Cowboys, which I expect them to, then they'll play the Packers, which on paper seems like a tough matchup, but I think historically when the Niners are healthy, they own the Packers, just like they own the Rams. And so the Niners beat the Packers, then they'll be in the NFC Championship, right? And then they'll be my Super Bowl favorites, and I'm pretty confident.
Hopefully history repeats itself if the Niners beat.
Except not the ending. Like this time they would win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I guess speaking of playoffs, a lot of Parker sports teams have been doing really well. We're in winter sports right now. We got Muthu's on the boys soccer team, who's undefeated. Yesterday they played Crystal Springs and won 6-0. That was a good game. The girls basketball team is also undefeated. I think the record is like 12-0 or 13-0. So they've been doing really, really well. And girls soccer also have been doing a good job.
Yeah,
so
they're I believe 7-0. And then the boys basketball team, they actually have already qualified for CCS. So it looks like at this rate, all of our winter sports teams are going to make the playoffs and hopefully win. Yeah,
hopefully.
Exciting times for Harker sports and also professional sports. And spring sports are going to start soon. I know for like volleyball and the other sports, like preseason practices start like late January, early February. But we always got like 2 more months of winter sports before we get there. But yeah, I think that's all we got for this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you have any feedback for us, leave it down below. And then also, if you disagree with any of our takes, like Muthu does with mine, and also you can drop that in like the comment section. Is that a thing? But yeah, that's all we got. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.